What are you doing here?
I thought you said you were flying to Tucson today.
I am.
That isn't what the map said.
Jean, what are you snooping around here for?
I don't snoop, Mike, and you know it. But I do have the old-fashioned notion that a wife has a right to know what her husband is up to.
All I'm trying to do is make a living.
How?
That's none of your business. Now, will you go home and leave me alone?
Darling, what's the matter?
If you want to know what's the matter, I'll show you what's the matter. Bills, bills, bills.
I know you're worried, but...
Well, I got news for you. I'm through worrying. I've got a chance to make more money from this one flight than I have in the last 6 months. Now, you forget that you ever saw this map. You understand? As far as you know, I've flown to Tucson, and I'll be back in a couple of days.
All right. You about ready?
Yeah, I'll be right with you.
Who was that man?
No one you know.
Mike.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Airport was an easy hour's drive on a highway that reached comfortably over the mountains east of San Diego, and I drove out there in response to a telephone call from Gene Telford. Although I had chartered Mike Telford's plane on several occasions for hunting and fishing trips, I knew very little about the man, and even less about his wife. But Gene Telford didn't hesitate to discuss what was troubling her. The fact that her husband had said he would be back on Tuesday, and it was now Saturday.
He's never been away like this before without letting me know.
You say he charted a course on the map you saw on the desk.
For a flight into Mexico. To a point northeast of Guaymas. A town called San Gardo.
Well, I'm sure you've considered the possibility of an accident.
If Mike had crashed, surely I would have heard something by now.
Well, that's pretty rugged country, Mrs. Telford. It's remote, isolated. If I were you, I'd report to the authorities that Mike's overdue.
I can't do that, Mr. Adams. Not yet.
Because you're afraid of what an investigation might turn up, is that it? So what do you want with me?
I want you to go with me to San Gardo and try to find out what Mike is doing there. I'll pay you. I have some money.
That's not the point.
Then what is?
Well, the fact that if Mike isn't doing anything wrong, there's nothing to worry about. But if he is mixed up in something he shouldn't be, then it's a matter for the authorities.
Isn't there another possibility? That he hasn't done anything wrong yet and we might be able to stop him before he does?
Well, there's a chance of that, I suppose.
Then will you go with me to San Gardo?
Well, one condition. That you don't expect me to protect Mike. If he's breaking the law, I go to the police. Is that understood? Well? All right, then, don't worry. We'll find him. Early the next morning, Gene Telford and I were on a plane out of Tijuana for the 3-hour flight to Guaymas on the coast of the Gulf of California. From Guaymas, the village of San Gardo lay 50 miles up in the mountains. I rented a Jeep for the trip over rough, twisting roads.
Buenas tardes, señora. Bienvenida, señora. Welcome to the Cantina Alfredo de San Gabriel. I am Alfredo. Of what service may I be?
We're trying to locate a man who's supposed to be here in San Gardo. His name is Telford.
Telford?
Here's a snapshot of him.
No, I haven't seen this man.
Are you sure?
Positivo, señora. Of course, it is one possibility.
What's that?
Is this man perhaps a friend of Senor Bundy?
Who's Senor Bundy?
The Americano who's renting the Rancho Cardenas.
Where is that?
Oh, about 16 kilometers from here, senor.
Do you know if any airplanes landed there in the last week?
An aeroplane at Rancho Cardenas? I haven't seen or heard of one, senor.
Well, what do you know about Senor Bundy?
Well, he pays well for the bottlenecks I deliver to him once a week. That is all, senor.
What do you think?
Well, if Mike isn't here, the ranch seems to be our next best bet.
Then let's go there.
Without knowing what we're walking into?
Well, what should we do?
Well, I'll drive out there and look the place over.
But why can't I go with you?
Because one person is less conspicuous than two, and besides, I can travel faster alone. You got 2 rooms we can rent?
2 rooms, senor?
This is Senora Telford. My name's Adams.
I understand. Si, senor, I have 2 rooms.
Alfredo will bring in the bags. I'll be back as soon as I scouted the ranch. Alfredo? I couldn't see any of the ranch buildings from the road, but I didn't know how far away they were, and I didn't want to risk anybody hearing me approach, so I left the Jeep and started to walk. From the top of the hill, I spotted the ranch buildings. I knew I wouldn't get an answer to any questions by barging in. About a quarter of a mile from the buildings, I got the answer to one question. A light plane could land and take off from Rancho Cardenas. A cleared field below made an excellent airstrip. On the field itself, I answered another question. I found the tracks made by the landing gear of a light plane. The plane had taxied toward a stand of tall, thick bushes bordering one side of the clearing. There was some piled-up brush, and behind it I found Mike Telford's ship. What was Mike Telford doing here? What was going on at the Rancho Cardenas? For the answer to those questions, I had to get Mike Telford away from there, to talk to him alone. And Jean Telford was the only one who could do that for me. Back in San Gardo, I had Jean write a note to her husband telling him she was at the cantina in the village and that she wanted to see him.
How are you going to get this to him?
Maybe Alfredo can help us with this.
Perhaps I could deliver the note for you, senor.
Well, that's fine. But remember, I don't want anyone else at the ranch to know that Telford got that note.
Oh, it will be no trouble. Tomorrow is the day I deliver the eggs and the butter to the ranch.
I want Telford to have that note today.
All right. I will take it today.
Muy bueno, Alfredo. Muy bueno.
Where's Bundy?
Outside someplace. Maybe in the bunkhouse with your passengers. How is he?
He'll be all right.
No, he is not all right. My husband is sick. He is very sick. He needs a doctor. You must get him to a doctor. He needs a doctor.
Now listen, Mrs. Marshak. I told you before, we can't have a doctor here. You seem to forget that you're in Mexico illegally, and that you'll be entering the United States illegally. We can't run the risk of having a doctor come around here and find out what's going on.
I don't care.
Well, we do, because we could go to prison for what we're doing.
Didn't they pay you a lot of money? He said everything would be safe.
Is it my fault your husband got a stomachache? Now, listen, Mrs. Marshak. Your husband is going to be all right.
No.
Believe me.
No. Without a doctor, he will not.
Who is it?
That guy from the cantina from San Gardo. He wasn't supposed to be here until tomorrow. Maybe you better go out and see what he wants.
Oh, buenos días, señor. I am Alfredo from the cantina Alfredo de San Gordi.
Yeah, I know.
I bring the eggs and butter for Senor Bundy.
Well, Bundy says you weren't supposed to come till tomorrow.
It's true, senor. It's true. But tomorrow I will be very busy. That's why I come today. Are you Talford?
Yeah?
I got something for you. The senora sent you this.
The senora. When did my wife get to San Gardo?
This morning?
Is she alone?
Yes, she's alone. He comes to.
I'll ride into town with you, okay?
Okay.
Alfredo? What's going on here?
Nothing. I was just asking Alfredo if I could ride into town with him.
Oh? Why?
Because I'm tired of being cooped up here, that's all.
Well, I think you better stick around.
Now, look, when Murph first talked to me about this job, he said it would take only a couple of days. By now, it's been almost a week.
Well, it's not my
I know
fault.
it's not your fault. The old guy took sick. Well, either I go into San Gardo now, or we forget the whole deal, and I fly back home this afternoon.
If we weren't collecting half our dough at the other end, we could all clear out. Let the old man die if he's going to.
So, do I go home, or do I go into San Gardo?
All right, let's not make a big thing about it. Go on into town if you want to. Telford's going into San Gardo.
Is that smart?
No.
Why's he going?
That's what I'd like to know.
Didn't he give a reason?
But not the real one. Maybe you ought to go on into town and see what Telford's up to.
Yeah, maybe I'd better.
Mike.
Gene, now suppose you tell me just what you're trying to...
That's what we came here to ask you.
Adams. I thought I told you to keep this quiet.
Maybe she didn't think you meant that, any more than you meant a few of the other things you told her.
Mike, what are you doing here?
I'm here on a job.
What kind of job?
I don't have to explain that to you.
Well, it's either me or the police.
Mike, please, Dan wants to help you.
Well, what makes you think I need any help? I want you to pack your things and get out of here and take him with you.
I'm not leaving.
All right, then stay. But if you do, we're quits.
Oh, no, just a minute.
Now, you
Mike.
get out of my way.
Mike?
I'll have Alfredo bring the police.
Do you have to?
He hasn't given me much choice.
Off with the hands. Now, straight back into the room. Murph. Who are your friends, Mike? Well, this is my wife. And that's Dan Adams. He's a private detective. Is that so? Well, I've got a hunch Bundy would like to talk with Mr. Adams. Now, why don't you run downstairs and tell Alfredo that your wife and friend have been invited to the ranch for a little visit. Go ahead, Mike. The car's out back. Meet us there. After you.
Sorry you got mixed up in this, Adams.
Was pretty clumsy of me, wasn't it? Especially since I still don't know what I'm mixed up in.
You will soon enough, although it won't do you much good. Take him out of the bunkhouse and lock him up.
With the old man and woman?
Is there a safer place?
All right, but I don't know what you're saving him for. On your feet, Adams.
You can stay in the house, Mrs. Telford, as long as we can keep an eye on you.
Who's this?
There's a man with a long nose and a short life. His name's Adams. Mrs. Marshak and her husband. You kids have fun, huh?
What's the matter with him?
I don't know.
Let me take a look.
You know what is the matter.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I've got a pretty good idea. I think he has appendicitis. Acute appendicitis. Now, if a doctor doesn't get to work on him pretty soon, he doesn't have a chance.
But Mr. Bundy will not get the doctor. I beg him, I plead with him, but he won't.
Why not?
Who are you, mister? Why do they lock you in here?
Let's just say that I'm someone who wants to help you. But I have to know what's going on, what you and your husband are doing here.
A year ago, in Vienna, my husband did a very wrong thing. He stole money from the company he worked for. A lot of money. Since then, we've gone from one place to another, wherever we could, always running away. Then we come to Mexico City, and we meet Mr. Bundy. And he tells us maybe he can get us into the United States.
Go on.
Oh. Well, Emil and I, we feel that maybe if we get to your country, we can stop running away. We have a daughter in Los Angeles, and we sent her money to keep for us. So we give Mr. Bundy $5,000. And we promise him $5,000 more when we get to Los Angeles. Well, then he bring us here, and Emil gets sick.
Well, you understand that if we do get your husband out of here and to a doctor, you'll both be sent back to Austria.
Oh, it doesn't matter anymore. I am old and I am tired. All that matters is that Emil does not die.
Well, I have a little bit of interest in staying alive myself. Maybe we can do something about it. They bring you your meals from the main house? What time?
Dinner about 5 o'clock.
Well, that gives us a little time to get ready for them.
The tray is ready.
You know what you have to do.
Sit down. Brought you a little food.
Get it out of here.
Well, what's the matter with you?
The old man's dead.
Dead?
See for yourself.
get hurt?
Oh, I'm all right. Where's Mike?
Well, I don't know. He said he was going to work on the plane, but he should be back by now.
Drop the gun, Adams. Drop the gun. Now the other one. Now back away from him. There's some rope in the kitchen. Get it.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to tie him up so we can get away.
Get away?
Bundy paid me. I've got the money and there's plenty of gas in the plane.
You can't do that,
Now, don't
Mike.
argue with me.
He's right, Telford.
You shut up. If I was smart, I'd cut you down right where you stand, but I'm not a killer, so you're getting a break.
Just giving me a break doesn't save you from being a killer.
Now what are you talking about?
Marshak, if you don't fly him to Wymus and a doctor, he's dead. He's got appendicitis. He's full of poison. He needs an operation, and he needs it fast.
Oh, you're bluffing. You're not a doctor. You don't know what he's got or what he needs. Go get that rope.
No.
If I fly that old man to Wymus, I'm putting myself in prison. Is that what you want?
I want anything but this.
Well, you don't have to go with me. Stay here. But I'm leaving.
Before you go, why don't you just go out there and put a bullet through Marshak's head? Only a gutless coward would kill a man the way you're killing him.
I'm not killing anyone.
Well, you're going to have to before you get out of this door.
I'm warning you, Adams.
It's one thing to kill a man by running away and just leaving him to die. It's another thing to shoot him down in cold blood. And that's what you're going to have to do to me before you get out of here. Now, if you're going to be a killer, you might as well be a real one.
In heaven's name, put down that gun, Mike.
No.
Well, then use it, Telford. And get used to using it. Because when you kill once, you have to keep on killing. You can't turn back. Now, either you kill me, or you give me that gun.
Take the gun.
Mike and I'll fly Marshak into Wymus. You take Mrs. Marshak into San Gardo and send the police out here. Tell them Mike and I'll be back in a couple of hours.